Whenever I start working on a new account, I'm always surprised at how underused the surveys are in HubSpot. It's such a great feature, it's incredibly easy to set up, and it gives you a lot of valuable information on your customers that will help you improve your processes. So in today's video, I want to show you exactly how I use this feature within my own business when I do HubSpot implementation or onboarding projects. And I'm going to show you the setup, what it looks like, and what it can mean for your business. My name is Jasper. I'm a certified HubSpot consultant, and let me share my screen and dive right in. So the first thing I want to show you is we have this email, and this is exactly the email that a customer will get. So as you can see here, this is a test send that I sent to myself, and I just have like, hey Jasper, now that we're up and running in HubSpot, I wanted to take a moment to check in. The onboarding is complete, your team has had a chance to work in the system, which makes this the right time to ask how the experience felt from your side. I always like to add that it just takes about 60 seconds because that is how long it takes. And then it just asks one simple question: how satisfied were you with your onboarding experience? Now, the customer can then just click an option here. So let's say they were happy, they click that. Next, they will get this survey. And as you can see, this is a test survey, of course. And the beautiful thing here is that you can adapt the question that you ask, the follow-up question, based on their answer. So for example, when they choose that they had a great experience, you can ask what stood out the most about the experience. This is something that you can then use, for example, in your marketing. If they had like a meh experience, we can say like, thanks for sharing. What's one thing we could have done better? Again, this will help you improve your process. And if they were unhappy with their experience, we can of course ask them how we can make things right. So then let's say they say that they had a great experience. Jasper was very hands-on during the onboarding process. Awesome experience. We will submit that. And now you can see that based on what I submitted, I'm going to say, we're glad to hear it. Share your experience on our HubSpot partner directory. It helps other teams find us, and this only takes a minute. And then I add a link here, which they can click to leave that review. But then, for example, if they had a bad experience, instead this message will say something else, and I'll show you how this is set up. So here we are in the setup for our customer satisfaction survey. And on this first page, we can do some basic things like choose the language, the company name, the from name for the email so that your customers recognize it, the address that it will be sent from, and the subject line. You do have some advanced settings here. If you, for example, have a different office location, you can update that office location here. And then this is where we set up all of the information right here. And we can use personalization tokens in there, of course. And then for the theme, we can choose the colors that we want for this onboarding. Next, we get to the feedback part. And that's what you just saw. So this is where we set up those questions. On the thank you page, here is where I can show you the example. So here you can see for happy, this is the message that we just saw in the example. When it would have been neutral, we would have said, thanks for being honest. This is exactly how we get better. We'll review your feedback and may follow up with a question or two, which you probably should do at that point, and which we definitely do here. And then if they had a bad experience, we'll just be like, thank you for telling us. Jasper will be in touch with you personally. And at that point, I obviously do personally reach out to that customer. I'll try my best to find out where things went wrong and to try to improve that situation and still make it a great experience in the end, because that's obviously always the goal. Then for the recipients, here you can see this is where we set up who will receive these surveys and when they will receive these surveys. So in this case, it will be the contact associated to a company with the label primary point of contact. And this is also why association labels are so important. I have a video on that as well. I'll link it right up here. And then we'll check when the first onboarding complete day is today. And that will trigger this onboarding customer satisfaction survey. We'll add a delay to that of 1 day. So it will be sent out 1 day after that onboarding is complete. And then last but not least, we can set up some automations based on this survey. And before we talk about that, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more HubSpot excellence, especially if this is the second video or maybe you watched even more videos here. We really put in a lot of effort into these videos, so we really appreciate any subscribes to the channel. First of all, here you can see who should be notified about any survey responses. Typically, this is the contact owner, since that is the person who is managing the relationship. If you want, you can add your survey to a specific campaign in HubSpot as well. And then last but not least, we can automate any follow-up actions. So as you can see right here, we do have specific follow-up actions for unhappy and neutral responses, in which case we always will follow up with the customer. With happy customers, I mean, we're in touch with all of our customers all of the time, but it's just to make sure that for these specifically, we do reach out to these people to make sure that we rectify the situation. So in the video, we show just one part of the customer surveys, which is the customer satisfaction ones. But back here in the demo account, I'll show you the other options as well, just to give you a better idea. If you would like me to do a video on any of these specifically, or if you have any questions, definitely let me know in the comments below. So we do have custom surveys, and when we click on preview here, you can get a better idea of what that looks like. This is great if you want to gather some more information about the experience that a customer had. Then we have the customer effort score, which is specifically for customer support. And that is something that you can add after a customer support ticket was closed, for example, to ask how easy it was to handle their issue. Then we have the customer satisfaction, which is what I showed in this video. And then we also have customer loyalty, or better, the NPS scores, which is the usual of like, how likely is it that you would recommend us to a friend or a colleague. This one specifically is pretty good for any recurring customers that you have, and something to do on an ongoing basis during your relationship, maybe like once every 6 months or so, depending on the business, and it will give you a good idea of how your relationship with that customer is going. Would you like to get even more insights on how to achieve excellence within HubSpot? Make sure to subscribe to our HubSpot Excellence newsletter, which you will find in the description of this video. So that was it for this video. If you liked this video, I'm sure you will like this video right here as well, about how to set up the customer success workspace in HubSpot. My name is Jasper. I'm a certified HubSpot consultant, and I'll see you in the next one.